So without further ado, I am going to start with my little introduction, and then I will see about getting us on Facebook Live afterwards. So welcome everyone to today's IAPC&M CPD Building Masterclass. My name is Julie Kennedy, and I am your host from the Netherlands with today a very dodgy internet. Today with us, however, we have ethical marketing and content strategist Kate Clarke to help us engage and attract the right people into our world using LinkedIn. So I, for one, am absolutely delighted about that because getting the right people is something that I'm actually struggling with. But first, some housekeeping. Our call today will be a maximum of 1 hour, including 15 minutes Q&A. It would be great if you could keep your questions until the end, but maybe put them in the chat box. Like that, you're sure you don't forget them for later. The session is recorded, so please mute yourself, but keep your video on. Like that, the speaker can see they're not speaking to themselves. Now, I hope you have your pen ready and your CPD pad ready, and I would be delighted to pass straight on to Kate. Welcome, Kate.
Thank you and welcome. So LinkedIn, who is ready to make 2024 the year of LinkedIn? Right, I'm going to share my slides and get started with today's session because we only have 45 minutes together, and I want to pack as much into those 45 minutes as I possibly can for you. So let's start with, I want to get going first with what is your intention for today. I want you to write down at the top of your piece of paper what you want to get out of today's session, and we'll circle back around to that at the end. So if I've not answered your question, if there's anything that I've not covered in today's session, you've got a chance to ask me then at the end and make sure that we are getting exactly what you need out of today. I'm going to start with the foundations, and this is the foundations that I start with any marketing strategy or before we start using any channel or any tool. Then I'm going to cover a little bit about how LinkedIn fits into your overall strategy, just to give you a bit of a view of how that works in the buyer journey and how you can get people moving along the journey, whichever way that is. And then I've broken down the title of this workshop into 3 sections of how to connect, how to engage, and how to attract the right people. And we're going to get into a bit of content strategy at the end. And then at the end, after all of that, what I'm going to do is actually go onto the platform and show you where everything is. So what I'd really like to know in the comments, if you could just drop in the comments where you are at the minute in terms of your abilities on LinkedIn, or where you are. Have you started using it? Are you completely new? Haven't got a bloody clue and don't know where to start? Just give me a little idea of where you are, and so I can make sure that I'm covering all bases there. So getting into the foundations. Right, we've done that. Get your intention of what you want to do. First of all, what is your goal and your destination? Before we actually set out on any journey, we need to know which way we're going to go. And we won't know which way we're going to go unless we know what the destination is. Put that destination into your sat nav, and then you'll go in the right direction. So what is it that you want to get out of LinkedIn for the next year? Do you want to increase your connections? Do you want to just get into posting on a regular basis so that you're being more consistent? Do you want to connect with more people? How many people do you want to connect with? Have you got a particular number in mind? If you want a certain amount of leads, how many connections do you think you're going to need to get those leads? Work backwards and reverse engineer that number so that you know exactly how many people you want to connect with and how many people you want to engage with. So having an idea in your mind of where you want to go is very important so that we're going in the right way. So let's just have a little quick look at what some of the comments are. Post once a week mainly to connect with people. Active user, need to understand how often to post and what. Use it pretty much. Post what I post on Insta. Okay, so probably not relevant for the audience. That's fine. And I have account user intimacy. Okay, so people are using it quite regularly by the sounds of it and getting out there. So I guess a lot of this session will be just refining what you're doing and helping you to get more in front of the right people. So we're going to get into that. All right, let's have a look at the foundations. So before we embark on any marketing activity, we look at the who, the what, and the why. We want to get real clear on who it's for, what solution you are providing, and why should people care about you? Why are you the person for the job? So let's start with the who. Who are you marketing to, and what are their deepest desires? Let's think about how you can get really specific about who that person is, because the more specific you can get, the more that person is going to resonate with what you're putting out there, and you're going to attract the right people. So get more specific. So let's start with the top level person that you are looking for. I am looking for senior leaders. Senior leaders, that. What is the thing that they are looking for? What is the thing that what is the problem that they have? Senior leaders that work in multinational companies that want to transition to senior position, that might be having a confidence crisis issue or an existential issue, or maybe it's mums that are looking to go back to work, that have a confidence issue, that are looking, again, transitional and change, or what is it what is the thing that they are looking to do? So drill down, look at the person at the top and drill down into the next level. What is it that they are? What is the problem that they are having? And I'm talking about niching here, and niching has a bit of a controversial word at the minute. Like, everybody is scared to niche, but the more specific you are on LinkedIn, the more chances you are to be the person that you're looking to serve is going to be seen and heard, because the language that you use and the challenges that they're facing, if you're talking directly to those challenges, then they are going to be seen and heard, and they're going to resonate with you, and they're going to move more towards you. So how more specific can you get from where you are now? Also, another exercise to think about is when you have, if you have worked with clients already, and you can write down all of the things that you love working with that client and all the things that you didn't love working with about that client. And then you can start to get an idea of the type of people that you love to work with, and you can start to refine that. So if you're drilling that down, you can think about the type of personality, the type of challenges that they're facing. Do they work in a big team or a small team? Do they work on their own? Are they part of a big company or a small company? What values do they have? What challenges do they have? What kinds of personality traits do they have? Do they pay on time? All of these things that form that little person, that persona of a person. And you can drill down and get really specific about who you want to work more with. Because the more specific you get to, and the more you can talk to that person, the more those people are going to be attracted into your world. And another way that you can also think about niching, and another exercise that you can do, is I have this little game that I play where it's, where you are in a room and everybody's standing up, and you play that game where you say, sit down if, and you can start to think about the attributes that you don't want. And you can say, sit down if you work in a big company, sit down if you are a male, sit down and by the time you get to the end of that game, you've got one person that you really want to work with, and that is the person that is in your mind when you're creating your content and when you're connecting and engaging as well. And I'll get to that bit in a minute. So, I realized that I've just come out of presentation mode, haven't I? Let me move you out of the way. So, also, after we know who we are talking to, we want to get really confident and certain about what it is that we are providing. And the thing that I want you to think about now, and you might have done this within your kind of coaching practice already, is to think about the method that you take people on. So what is the journey that you are taking people on? Because what you want the person to do is to visualize what it's like to work with you, and what steps they are going to take to get from where they are now to where they want to be. And that might be, if you think about, let's have a look at step one. Step one is we're going to realize what all of your fears are. We're going to break that down. We're going to break everything down. And then step two might be, we're going to then identify what your purpose is, or what your goals are, or what this is, or what that is. And step 3 is going to be, we're going to then create the action plan, and step 4 might be the accountability to keep that going. So what is the method, and what are the steps, and then what is the offer that you are then giving them in terms of what are the actual what is the actual service? Is it mentoring? Is it coaching one-to-one? Is it being part of a community? Is it a group program? So getting specific on what is the actual offer, so then they can visualize how they're going to work with you. And then obviously the why should they care. And this is all about what makes you unique. I hate the word, what's your USP? What's your USP? That is the most frustrating question in the world. There is never just one USP, right? When it comes to being a coach, you have a recipe of uniqueness. There's loads of coaches out there, loads of people will be doing what you're doing. Hands up if you're in a competitive environment. Everyone here is in a competitive environment, right? But you are unique in terms of your values, your personality, your teaching style, your story, and your experience. So bringing that all together into one package and communicating that out to the world will help people then resonate with you and bring the right people, because the people with the same values will be attracted to you, and the people that want what you've got to offer, the personality traits that you have, people will be drawn to that. So that is the package of the foundations, and we'll come back to that when we get to like the content bit. But that is the bit that you want to really get so certain before you even get out there on LinkedIn. Or if you're already out there, which most people are, then come back to this and see how you can refine some of this stuff and get more confident and more clear on it. Okay, so now we're going to get into a little bit of an exercise in crafting your bio. So thinking about that who, what, and why. Who is it for? What do you provide? And what is the end result that you want to get people to? So this is helping your bio become really clear, so that when people land on your profile, they can see straight away, this is for me because I can identify myself in this bio. That is the thing that I want, because that's the end result that I'm looking to get. And one-to-one coaching or mentoring or community or a membership, that sounds great. I'm in. That's exactly what I want right now. So they can resonate with what it is that you do. So we're going to have maybe just a couple of minutes now to have a little go of writing a nice, clear one-sentence bio that tells people exactly who it's for, what you provide, and the end results. There's a little example there that you can use. One-to-one coaching for burnt out leaders, to clarify. So we're not just talking about any leader, we're talking about a leader that is feeling burnt out and depleted, and what they are looking for and the end result they're looking for. So just have a little go of maybe writing something for yourself there. Maybe you've already nailed this and you've got a really great bio already. I can see a couple of heads still down, but I'm going to carry on just because I know that we're a bit short on time today. I can't see many people's faces today, but I can see, I know people are still working away, but I'm just going to carry on. So thinking about your marketing, your whole marketing strategy, LinkedIn obviously is not a standalone part of any strategy. It is part of a bigger picture. And what I want you to just think about is how you're using LinkedIn as part of that journey. So LinkedIn could be the starting point of your journey. You might be using it to connect with people, to start conversations, and then taking people somewhere else. Where else can you take people? What is the next logical step? And I'm going to get into the connection side and how we connect with people. But what the idea is that we are always taking them to the next logical step that feels right in that moment, not a pushy sales tactic or a pitch slap which tries to sell them something. We're not selling people anything at this stage. All we're doing is connecting with people and sending them on to the next logical step. So what is that? Is it a newsletter? Is it a blog that is part of the conversation? If you've been having a conversation about a specific thing and you have a blog on that, and you can take them over to the blog to read more about it, or if you have a free event or a free masterclass or workshop that you can invite people to, whatever that nice freebie is that you can send people on, that's the next logical step in the journey to carry the conversation on and build that trust. Maybe LinkedIn isn't the first step in that journey. Maybe it is a case of you are going out and you're meeting people on networking events online or face-to-face or doing events, and then you're connecting with them on LinkedIn. If you are going networking, connect with people straight away as soon as you get home or as soon as you get back to your laptop or you have 5 minutes. Connect with them while it is fresh in their mind and your mind so that they remember you and they will connect with you. I use LinkedIn every time I go networking. I spend 5 minutes just going through all those connections, making sure that I'm connecting with everyone. If there's networks and memberships that I'm in and there's new people joining, sometimes there's like a summary of all the new members have joined our community, and I will actually go through, find them on LinkedIn and connect and say, oh, we're part of this network together. I've just noticed that you've joined. It's great to connect. And this is how you're going to get better results, by combining LinkedIn as part of the bigger strategy. So the next thing, we're going to get more into the practical stuff now of how to connect with people. The best way to connect is to be very specific about who you are connecting with, but being very personal in your connection requests as well. And I'm going to show some examples of connection requests to how to word it so that you can get a better result and get more people connecting. It's important to keep making sure that you're bringing the right people into your world. So I'm going to, in the demo part, I'm going to actually show you how to use the filters on how to find the right people and maybe some of the things to look for on their profile and stuff like that. This is my 4-step process. And I'm not saying that I do this massively consistently, but the process is consistent. I always use this process, and I might be really good for a few months and then not connect with anyone for a couple of weeks. And then, it doesn't matter. But as long as you're being consistent with the process of find the right people and connect with them, send them a personal connection request. But then after a week or a few days, send them a conversation starter so you can carry the conversation on, find out what their challenges are, what's happening in their world. Again, this is a very authentic and friendly conversation starter. It's not, I'm going to sell you something, and it's not just a how's the weather conversation. It's an actual, where are you in your world? What are your challenges? What are you facing? I'm finding this with some of my clients, and is this something that you find too? And it's finding out more about them and opening that conversation up so you can begin to build that trust. And then if it feels right, send them something related to what you're talking about. Like we talked about, a blog or an event or something that's the next logical step for them. And most important, follow up with them. Don't just leave it stagnant. If there's people that are perfect for you, that you want to work with, follow up, find out what they thought about the blog or what they thought about your newsletter or what they thought about the event, and carry that conversation on. See if you can get them onto a call from that point. And be personal and specific. Always be personal. Have a look on their profile, see what you can find out about them, look at what events they're going to, what their last post was all about. Have a look at the hashtags in their bio to see what they're talking about. And if there's something that sparks a shared interest, you can talk about that thing with them. The more personal you can get, the more chance that they are going to accept that connection request when it comes through. And here are some examples of what those connection requests might look like. Again, it's about being as personal as possible. People are very sensitive now to bots, and nobody wants to talk to a robot. So if you sound like a robot, you're going to get ignored. And if you sound like a robot, people are going to think that they're just going to get a pitch sent to them straight away, and you're going to get ignored. So it's all about being personal and making that request as personalized as possible. I might mention something that I pick up on the hashtags a lot, actually, and if there's something that is of interest, then I'll mention that and say, this is something I'm really passionate about and I'd love to connect with you. One thing I have had mixed results with is voice notes. So some people like a voice note. Some people think they're the worst thing in the world because you need to have privacy to listen to them and blah, blah, blah. But a lot of the time when I've sent voice notes, I get a really nice message saying, that was really refreshing. Thank you for that. And I'm really pleased that you sent me that message. And it was really nice to hear your voice. And, you know, it gets mixed reviews, but I've had more positive results than I had negative from that one. And also one that I've been doing recently is actually calling out the AI bots and saying, listen, this is actually a genuine connection, or it's a genuine hello. There isn't going to be an automatic pitch, you know, coming straight after this. So that goes down quite well, because then at least you're identifying that you're actually not a robot, and it just makes it more personal. So we're not going to do this now, but an exercise to do is to write a few connection request examples, keep them in a file so you can copy and paste them really easily. That makes it nice and quick when you are coming to do your connection request. And I would say I think you can do something like 200 a month or something. I'm sure it's about 25 a week. So you can, that does not work out. I just realized the maths in my head then. But you can do, maths is obviously not my strong point. You can do a fair amount of connections every week. And I would say try and maximize the amount of connection requests that LinkedIn does give. Yeah. So having something you can copy and paste quite easily, but then adding those personal things in just helps speed the process up a bit. So engaging. I'm doing this in this order for a reason. So we're going to start with connections, then engage, then start posting content, because first of all, you're connecting with the right people to get them into your world. Then you're engaging with them. So the more you engage with them, the more likely they are to see the content when you are posting it. The engagement part is very important, and it's very important not to skip this part. A lot of people go straight for the content and just want to be posting consistently, but actually having a list of 10 to 20 people that you would absolutely love to work with and are in your prospect, they're perfect for you, and you've got that 10 to 20 people, find them and connect with them and engage with them and make it a bit of a habit every day. So even if you do 5 or 10 minutes, go through that list, pick 1 or 2 people and engage with them. And each day do that for somebody different, because the more you engage with the right people, the more then that's going to have a knock-on effect as well, because they're going to be connected to more of the right people and they're going to see your content as well when you do start posting it. It's important to be really, again, really authentic. There's lots of pods out there that people are using where you join a group and they all just like and comment on each other's, and it's all really generic posts, and LinkedIn hates that. What they want to see is conversations. So the more interesting things you comment on people's posts, and the more chance that has of starting a conversation, or if you ask a question and then we're starting a conversation in the comments, then LinkedIn loves that, because that's what they want. They want to see genuine conversations happening. So they're going to then put your content in front of more people when they know that you are a person that has genuine conversations. So show genuine interest in what people have to say, pick up on those things. What are you passionate about that you can then comment on, or what can you share with them that's related to what they're talking about? Don't just like a load of stuff for the sake of it. It's not going to do you any good for the algorithm at all. Comment genuine and interesting comments, and share their stuff on your profile, but don't just share it with nothing, because people want to know what you have to say about it. They want to know your opinion about this as well. So don't just share things without having any opinion about it. So as I say, the exercise there is to have a list of people and keep coming back to that list. And they are the people that you really want to work with. Right, we're going to get into content now. So once you've connected and you've engaged, and now it's about what you post. So a lot of the comments that I hear from people is, I just don't know what to post, I don't know what to say, and I don't know how to say it. So this is a really simple content strategy, and we want to come back and do a full circle to your who, your what, and your why. And by doing the research and understanding your audience, you're going to know the questions that they're asking. So you'll know the questions that need answering. And do interviews with people, do polls on LinkedIn to ask questions, to find out what people are really wanting to know more about. What are the burning questions, or what do you get asked the most? And then write a list of how you can answer those questions. What content can you put together? Can you put a top 5 list together and create a carousel with that? Can you put that into some sort of long form content like a blog or a podcast or a workshop or whatever it is? I picked up this 3-step strategy from a guy called George Cow. George Cow is, he wrote a book called Authentic Content Marketing. So he helps like healers and spiritual business owners with their marketing. And he has this 3-step strategy, which he starts with the informal text or video post. And that can be something where, you know, you see people in their car, you can do a video, or you can do it while you're walking the dog, or I know a lot of that gets a bit of criticism, but whatever it is that you feel most comfortable doing. And it might just be a text post to begin with, but it's about information gathering to begin with. It's just throwing things out there. It's throwing ideas out there or questions out there just to see what people's thoughts and feelings are around those things. And you can collate that and expand on it, and then create your long form content from that. So you can create your blog posts or your podcast episodes or your workshops. And then from that, you can work out what works well with your long form stuff and turn that into the paid content that you put into your programs or your courses, or create courses, or even a book, if a book is the journey that you're going down with your coaching practice. And then we do another loop with the repurposing. So as well as information gathering, we're also then using LinkedIn as a distribution channel for the long form stuff as well. So we're taking the long form stuff and we're breaking that down into smaller chunks of information. So you might take that blog post and you might write, what are the key points from this blog post, and put that out in a post. You might take a quote from it and post the quote. You might turn it into a list of the top 5 things of this, whatever it is. And you would then create your repurposing workflow from that. So I'm all about making life as simple as possible. And you can post more from doing less, in my mind. So if you spend more time just doing that longer form piece, then you can get more out of it with your repurposing plan. So break that down and purpose it more. So you've got 2 lots of content going on there, but then come back to the who, the what, the why. So are you communicating these top questions? Are you telling people what the journey is and how you can get them from A to B? And are you communicating all of those lovely things that make you unique, your values, your personality, making sure that you're getting your personality into the photos that you're posting, into the language that you're using, videos, if video is the way that you're going for. I would say if you're not doing video, try it, and it's not as scary as it seems. And doing live videos, I mean, LinkedIn loves live, and not loads of people do live, so it's actually really good for your visibility. But also building trust in the skills that you do, so showing people that you've done it for people before. So those testimonials and case studies, people need to see that social proof. It's getting very dark in here. Sorry, let me just pop this light on. You forget how dark it goes at this time of night so quickly, don't you? That has not helped. That's actually made my face darker, but anyway. And don't forget to sell your service. So a lot of people will focus on the giving, give the value, but then they forget to actually sell. It is still a place for selling. Your selling post will not get as much engagement as the other stuff, but that's absolutely fine. The selling posts still need to be there. People still need to understand what it is that you do so that they can decide if it's what they want. Okay. So we're going to have a quick look at measuring success and the things that you can look at to measure, but I'm not going to focus too much because when I get onto the demo, I'm going to go through the analytics bit just so that you can see how to look at your follower numbers and which content has been the most popular. One thing I will mention now is to look at your sales SSI, which is your social selling index, I think it stands for. And you can type that URL into Google and it gives you a score. And that score is based on the people that you connected with, how well you're serving the audience and the content that you're doing and how well your profile is up to date. Gives you a bit of a score. So you can have a look at that now. And then once you start then doing more of this stuff and creating more content and putting stuff out there, you can see how it's improving. So that's one way to measure your success. Right, I'm just going to recap quickly and then I'm going to flip over to LinkedIn and we're going to do a bit of a demo. I haven't got a timer in front of me. What time are we on? Okay, so we're about halfway.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, got plenty. Right, so quick recap. Get specific and confident about who it is for, what it is that you provide, and what makes you unique. So bringing all of that lovely uniqueness together. Find the right people and connect with them, which I'm going to show you how to do. Be sociable, because LinkedIn is all about being sociable. And create content for that who that communicates your what and your why. Right, so we're going to get... Okay, so LinkedIn. Start that. Get out of my messages. Right, so everybody's going to be really familiar with the platform, so I probably don't need to focus too much on where everything is. But for people who are maybe just starting out or they don't know LinkedIn that well, the first thing that we're going to look at is how to connect with people. So somebody just give me an idea in the chat if you're feeling brave enough to give me their ideal customer, so I can just have a little search. So I'm not doing it for myself. I'd rather do it for somebody else. If anybody wants to share something in the chat and I can use that as a starting point. Well-being, man. Okay, cool. Yeah. So you do like workplace well-being stuff, right? So let's have a look. Well-being manager. Right. So up here, what we're looking for here is people. So I'm going to click onto people. And then you have lots of filters in here. And I'm going to open this bar up. I need to move all these little windows with the chat and I can't see my screen properly. So down on this right-hand side, now what I would do is I would click second connections because you're more likely to get better results from connecting with second connections. Plus you might have people who are connected, shared connections. So that can be a conversation starter as well. And then I'm looking to work with people just mainly in the UK. So I would probably click UK. This is quite interesting. So if you are looking for somebody who is interested in workplace well-being, or you could actually put that in the search topic. When I've done that before, it tends to not have very, very good results. It just says there's no one in this industry. So I keep that open for now. But you can have a look at all of these different, you can get really, really specific about who you're looking for in these filters. So if I was to show results there, and then what we have is learning and wellbeing manager, health and so there's lots of options that have come up. And what we can do is if we have a look at their profile and have a look at their company, we can see in their company, we can go to the company page and see how many employees there are. So if you're looking to work with small, medium or large businesses, you can get an idea of the size of the business that this person works for. And you can also, if you're looking to plug a certain position or job within that. So if you're looking to be a consultant for well-being, then you don't want to work for a company that already has a well-being consultant or someone specifically doing that job. Or if they are doing that job, it's probably better that they might be a junior person and you can be more of a strategic person. So depending on what it is that you're looking to do for that business, you can look and see if they've already got somebody doing that job, or if not. Again, not everybody's going to be on LinkedIn, so this is not going to be super accurate, but you're going to be able to get an idea of what kind of business you're dealing with from the size and the type of job titles that they've got. I wouldn't work with them because they've got digital marketing executive already. So that's one thing to look for. And then the other thing is to have a look and see, oh, you actually cannot see. Oh, it won't let me look at anything on there. Right, okay. All right, this is what I'm looking for. So in the experience, you can get a feel. So for me, when I'm looking for coaches to work with, I'm either looking for coaches who are super startups, because I have lots of services that help people who are very, very early in their journey. And I look for coaches who have been doing it for like probably more than 6 or 7 years, because they have an idea and they know what they want, and it's more of a case of getting the strategy right and optimizing the strategy, and I help people do that. So there's 2 different kind of strands that I would be looking for. So you might be looking for somebody, let's say if you were a coach who was helping people who are a bit lost in their careers. They might have moved around a lot and only spent a few months here or there in positions. So maybe that might be something that you're looking for. So it's just about being a bit of a detective on this and seeing what it is that what you're looking for. Also in the activity section, this is all of their posts. So again, when you're looking for information to have a conversation about, you might look at their last post to see what they've been doing, what events they've been to. Some people are really active and some people aren't. The more active they are, the better, because obviously there's more stuff to talk about. What else did I want to cover in the connection? So that's pretty much how to connect with people, and then you can connect and add note, and then you can write your personal message in there. If you're going onto somebody's profile, you usually get 2 options. So these buttons are sometimes different in terms of, some people prefer to have a follow rather than a connection because they don't want to be bombarded with people that they don't know. You want to connect with people. That's the main aim, because you can have more of a relationship and start to build up the conversation if you're actually connected with them. So you want to connect with them rather than follow them. If you're just following, it's just going to show you their content, but you're not going to be able to they're not going to be able to see your stuff, and you're not going to be able to connect with them as much. So if you don't see the connect button here, then you go into the more section and the connect button will be in this part. You can see there that the follow button, so it's the other way around on this one. But it just depends on how they've set their settings up. Okay, so that's all about connecting. So the profile, this is your profile. You want a nice strong image at the top. This is where you can put your bio, so you can edit anything you want on that page. I think most people are probably going to know their way around the profile. Everybody here has been using the platform. If there's any questions that you want to know, pop them in the chat. If there's anything that I'm not covering so far. The other thing that I just wanted to go through was how to post stuff. So does everybody know how to post carousels, do videos, do polls? Like, don't need to cover any of that stuff. That's probably quite basic for the beginners. Is there anything else in there that I just wanted to? Yeah, so that's the carousel stuff. I'm just going to check my list to make sure I've covered everything that I want to cover in there. Oh, the newsletters. So one really good function that LinkedIn has got is that you can do your newsletters within LinkedIn. This is an option that's a bit like, it's more of a blog than a newsletter, but people can subscribe to it like they do a newsletter, and then they get the notifications when you release a new one. Now, this can be part of your overall content strategy. If you're already creating a blog, then create the blog on your website first, then create a version of it for LinkedIn. So you can actually use ChatGPT to reword stuff. You can just pop it in there and ask it to change the order of the words or to reword it slightly so you can use it on a different channel, and you can post it straight in there. So if you haven't done this already, the first thing to do is to write article, and that starts a new one. So that just comes up with, you can either share it as a page, so you've got your business page, or you can share it as a personal one. So if I go in here, I can see there, because you can do it as an individual article, or you can do it as as part of a series. So you can start a series that people can subscribe to. And then it just works like a blog. You stick your picture at the top, you put your title in, and then you copy and paste. You can put images and links and whatever else you want to put in there. What is a carousel? Okay, I'm glad somebody asked that, because carousels work really beautifully on LinkedIn. A carousel is, and let me see if I can find one. Do you know who's Nikki does carousels? Lovely. Let me see if I can find one of Nikki's. So Nikki creates lead magnets, and she does some really lovely content on LinkedIn, and she does loads of carousels. So let's just see if I can find one of Nikki's carousels, and I'll show you what that looks like. You'll know when you see it. Yeah, in fact, the first one I found, she's done a carousel. So this is a carousel where you can use the arrows. It's like a little book, and you can just summarize. So you can summarize a blog into like 5 points and put it into a carousel. So what you would do is, in Canva, you would create a LinkedIn image, and you would create pages for that and do all of your content on the different pages, and then you would save it as a PDF. So save it down as a PDF, and then when you upload it on LinkedIn and you share it as a post, you add it as a document. So that's very important. Don't add it as images, because when you add it as images, it just looks like a gallery of images when it's on the feed. You want to add it as a document, and that's when it comes up with that lovely like pages that people can flip through. So that's a carousel. Oh, thank you, David, for sharing that link. So David's just shared a LinkedIn link on how to create carousels. Fabulous. So where are we on time? Oh gosh, that time has just gone so fast. So that is pretty much everything that I wanted to cover anyway. Is there any questions? Is there anything that I have not covered that anybody really wanted to know about in LinkedIn?
Now's our time to ask. That was fascinating. I mean, to be honest, I've been using LinkedIn for years, but there are lots of things that I didn't know. I mean, like many people, I just use the basic, stick stuff in there and connect with people. So thank you very much for that. Any questions, any specific questions? We're lucky to have Kate with us here, so don't hesitate to ask. You can either write it or just, unmute yourself and ask. Anyone have a specific question about using LinkedIn? The benefits of premium, Rosalind asks.
The benefits of premium. So with premium is like a sales tool, basically, and it's used more by recruiters. It means you can connect to more people. So if you are going down the road of using AI, automatic DMs to get leads, it's not something I encourage people to do. And I think when you're in a coaching business, when you need that personal connection and that relationship, I don't think using automatic DMs is the way to go. But that's my opinion, and you can prove me wrong if you want. But if you've got the premium version, you can do more of those. You can basically spam like more people than what you could if you were just on the basic version. And then I think you can see more as well. So if you were to go onto somebody's profile, a lot of people hide things, but if you're on a premium, you can see more stuff about them. And some people hide a lot more. Like I've got a very open profile, but some people like will hide their picture or they'll hide their name. But if you're on premium, you can see a lot more. What would you recommend as frequency for posting and engaging for consistency? This is a really hard question to answer, and people ask this question a lot. I think it doesn't matter, for me, it doesn't matter if you're posting once a week or 4 times a week, as long as you are doing that consistently. So as long as you're always posting once a week or you're always posting 4 times a week, it's about getting into the process and the habit, I think. Now, it's funny, because of the way the algorithm works, like if you're posting and engaging quite a lot, then even if you are only posting once a week, a lot of the posts will get seen more often because it's consistent, and if people are engaging with it, it'll get seen by more people. And if you're doing the sociable side of it and the engagement side of it, those posts will get seen more as well. Sometimes when I don't post for a week or so, and people still say, you're all over LinkedIn, I see you all the time, and I think I haven't posted for a week, but my posts are still getting seen because I'm still fairly regularly, even though I might miss a week off. You know, so it's, to me, it doesn't matter as long as you're doing something consistently.
See, Amma has a question as well about how do you put the sign up to my newsletter in your bio?
Oh, that's a good question. So in your bio, so you can add links. So this link, sign up to my newsletter, is you can have one link on your bio, which is any link that you want. And if you go into the edit section, you can let me find it. This is where I won't be able to find it. It is somewhere in here. It's always the way, like when you think, oh God, where is that thing? It's in here somewhere where you can add your URL. Oh my God, I knew I'm going to find it under pressure. Is it contact info? So I've got my website URL, but that's not it because it's
the custom button, Kate. You were just right. You just passed it. Go down again.
Down here. Custom
edit custom
edit
button.
Custom button. Select a button to display link. Oh yeah, so you can add, there it is. Thank you. So you can add whatever link you want in there and whatever text you want. So I've got it to my newsletter because that's where I want people to go next. That is the next logical step for me. I want people to join my newsletter because I send a fortnightly email with you know, lots of valuable information with links to this, that, and the other that people will find useful and interesting. And that's where I will build more conversation. That's kind of like my community, as it were. Now you can add your Facebook group in there if that's where you want people to go and connect with you. Wherever it is that you want people to go next, that's the next logical step, but that's free and easy. But not just your website, because if people go to your website, they might have a little look around, but you're probably going to lose them. Think about some way that you can actually like get them more into your world. So if they're interested and they might want to sign up to know more, get them to join something so they're kind of closer to you, they're moving closer to you, if that makes sense.
Very much so, yeah. Great questions, everyone. Anyone, anything else?
Fabulous.
Well, thank you, because that was very practical. And it was a great idea that you actually shared directly, you know, where it is. And I think we don't use it so much. I mean, I remember a few years back thinking or hearing that LinkedIn was on its way out, but it's not, because for business, it's still something that we very much trust, right?
Definitely. And I think it's a great tool. It's I've been working in social media for a long time. And I would say LinkedIn is probably one of my favorite platforms. I think you can really have some great connections and it feels more personal. And that's why I think it's a great tool for lead gen.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is still business related, as in people are not sharing their latest meal or whatsoever. There is that business context to it as well. Well, Kate, thank you very, very much. Thank you to all of you for having made time to be here tonight in order to grow and learn. And good luck with using LinkedIn to really optimize your businesses and get the clients that you want. I know I've certainly got some tips about really getting closer into the people that I want to attract. So don't forget to write this down in your CPD pads, right? So that we don't just listen and then, you know, sleep on the information and think, oh, that was terrific, and by the next day I've totally forgotten what it was. Take action on it, right? So now we need to implement that in our LinkedIn. So let's write it all into our agendas for tomorrow morning. Kate, thank you very much. All the best. Good luck with your big mission here. And oh, wait a minute, I just see I've got lots of messages here. Just check that they're all thank yous. They are all thank yous. So there we are. Thank you very much for having taught us all of that tonight. And good luck to you all. Have a lovely evening. Bye.